Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 10 of the Burning Table. We finally hit double figures. Happy joy, joy, happy joy, joy, joy. My name's Cameron Phillips, and I'm here with our resident Geordie statistician, Alan Milburn. Johnny and Clark have once again deserted the cause. Well, Johnny's away job hunting, I think, and Clark...
Job doing.
Job doing, really. So there you go. We'll hope to welcome them back in the near future. So, Alan, as we usually do, we usually go through the first pay-per-view, the most recent one, which would, in this case would be No Mercy.
No Mercy,
which
yeah.
I have seen minimal clips of, regarding YouTube mostly.
I've seen the majority of it, but not all, as I fell asleep on the night and only caught a bit of the repeat, but I've saw the majority of it.
The majority of it. Where should we start?
Well, the first match, ECW title, Mark Henry, Matt Hardy. Now, we remember SummerSlam, they tried this match?
Yes, and it was about 30 seconds long.
Yeah,
someone actually emailed me a video file, that's how small that match was.
I don't know where they were going with that one, but this one, it was actually enjoyable, it wasn't very long.
Was Tony Atlas involved?
It was at ringside, and he wasn't involved in the finish, obviously, he did,
Good.
He wasn't involved in the finish. Basically, Matt Hardy worked on Henry's leg throughout the whole match.
Alright.
And sort of, injured it. And then Henry went for the World's Strongest Slam when he had him. And at which point, Hardy started punching Henry in the knee.
Right.
Which caused him to drop him, and then they bend over in pain. And then twist of fate.
And that was it?
For the pin, yeah, that was it.
Matt Hardy's carrying off the ECW title quite well, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a big Mark Henry fan.
You were a Mark Henry fan?
I am, because I feel so sorry for the guy, because he's tried so hard for all these years.
He's done that for.
Well, he's got injuries. Injuries have plagued his career, and he's got a curly beard.
11 years.
More like him.
12 years now.
He's got an early start in his corner.
Moving on.
Women's title match very briefly.
Who cares?
Beth Phoenix beat Candice Michelle to retain the title.
But it's a WWE Women's Division.
Well, they're doing that whole Glamarella thing with, but we'll go on to that when we do Raw. When we do
yeah.
Mysterio Kane, a bizarre match. I thought.
I didn't.
Because do you remember how it all came about when Kane had a bag for weeks?
Yeah, and they weren't really sure.
And they thought it was going to be Kane's old match.
And
for no reason at all.
Gone somewhere.
For no reason at all, they just decided he hated Rey Mysterio.
Yeah. Do you know when we talk about Rey Mysterio, you always say you don't like him?
Yes.
And I always say I like him, but occasionally in the WWE he's often put against people that are way too big for him to have a convincing match. You can't suspend your disbelief. It's like when he was Rey Mysterio was World Heavyweight Champion, and they decided to just put him against, Carly and
Mark Henry and
Mark
stuff.
Henry. There was no way that Kane falls into that bracket.
He does, doesn't he?
You cannot believe they've had a couple of exchanges on Raw recently.
I saw that he drop kicks him, and Kane's supposed to fly out the ring.
Yeah, and Kane's sort of staggering backwards. It's just like, no, he's a midget, and then Rey Mysterio would try it again, and Kane would just boot him out the air, and that's what would happen.
Not only that, he looks, when you put him in guys like Kane, he looks so small, he looks tiny, he looks like he shouldn't even be in the ring.
Yeah, he looks like he shouldn't be there, and that's my problem.
Yeah, they should have stuck him to just cruiserweights.
I can appreciate you. I mean, if you watch Rey Mysterio's box set, he has fantastic matches against like Eddie Guerrero and Chavo and things like that, and Juventud. And it's, great matches because people are those are people kind of his size, and as for that reason, he's a fantastic wrestler. But yeah, put him against someone too big, and it just doesn't look right.
And don't forget the stupid stipulation, if Kane won, he had to demask Rey Mysterio.
Which I don't really see the point in.
They did the same
thing.
thing.
Even use it.
They did exactly the same thing in WCW with Kevin Nash.
Yes.
But Kevin Nash beat him in that match, I believe.
Yes.
Because Kevin Nash never lost a match in WCW.
And the problem with Rey Mysterio is that if he's demasked, he looks 12.
Yes. Yes.
That's the problem with it. I mean, when he came out the ring, he had a hood on, and he gave the hood thing to some kid in the front row just by the aisle. And then he still had the mask on underneath it, but he had straps at the back. It wasn't like a total overall coverage like it usually is. And I'm thinking, right, easy to take off, and you're kind of thinking, you're going to lose this one.
Do you remember the match? I don't remember. It was SummerSlam a few years ago. He's fighting Chavo, and his mask fell off by accident during the match.
He did that a couple of times. Wasn't that a WrestleMania match he had with Eddie Guerrero? 21 or 22.
I don't know, possibly.
That when they were tag champions and they were in the opener at WrestleMania, they fought each other just before. Must be 2005.
It wasn't before the whole Dominic feud thing, was it?
Yeah, it was before that. Yeah, that was the WrestleMania, not the SummerSlam ladder match. I was, he had an really ill-fitting mask on then as well. He kept all match. He was doing that with it, and was kind of like...
That's what makes it more unbelievable when he's took a power move like a choke slam or a big clothesline. He's supposed to be lying unconscious and instead he's lying there adjusting his match. Yeah, it doesn't really look very realistic, does it?
Reminding us of ladder matches, Jericho-Michaels, which I only saw the end of.
I was going to finish the end of how the Mysterio-Kane match finished.
Oh, carry on then.
Mysterio went to jump for Kane and Kane smacked him with a steel chair. Disqualification. Why Kane got disqualified, I don't know. It seemed very pointless. And apparently didn't even do much beating up with him after the match. He just walked out.
Yeah, if you really wanted to demask him to reveal themselves.
Yeah, he's unconscious anyway. You may as well just do it then.
You may as well just do it. If he was a heel, he would have done that. That's what really got me about that story. It was a bit like.
Should we do the ladder match or should we save it to the end?
Save it to the end. We got about 4 and a bit minutes.
4 and a bit minutes. Well, we do Big Show Undertaker.
When did Big Show wake up with a big right hand?
Yes. Now Big Show.
What turned Big Show into Hellboy?
He's been wrestling since '99 for WWE.
99 for WWE.
A few spells, but never in these spells has he got a massive punch. And he was fighting Floyd Mayweather. Surely that would have been a good time to promote his punch fighting a boxer. There's rumours, just rumours. They're possibly doing it now to promote a rematch at the next WrestleMania. Him and Mayweather, and I hope not as well. But they're just.
That was a one-off thing. It was good. It was for what it was at WrestleMania.
But apparently, someone's told me Mayweather's retired. So that might might leave him space to maybe come into wrestling a little bit. I hope not. But anyway, he basically knocked Undertaker out and the referee had to stop the match. I don't know if Undertaker's match has ever been stopped because of a legitimate knockout, no steel chairs or anything like that, just a straight right hand, which seemed baffling because, I mean, there's time where Big Show's not even bit Rey Mysterio, but he's knocking Undertaker out with one punch.
Yeah, I know, I just felt, as soon as I haven't actually seen the end of the match, it's really, I haven't got Sky, I can't get hold of it.
I did see that match, I saw that match by the way.
So, it just seems odd to me.
You just presume he's then take out and Undertaker will come back at one pay-per-view with a big revenge casket match or Hell in a Cell match or some match.
It's getting a bit repetitive for Taker. Apparently he's struggling a lot with injuries now. Apparently
he's looking quite.
Getting arthritis.
He's getting like Michaels. He's getting to that stage where you think it's about time he should give it up.
Seen him later. I think the last time I saw him was Edge at SummerSlam. But what else was there?
Triple H, Jeff Hardy, which was predictable as ever. Decent enough match.
Well, you knew that Triple H was.
Yeah, with a ridiculous finish though.
It's just this swanton into the.
He does his twist of fate, does his swanton. For some reason, he decides to pin him by lying back on him.
Right.
And which Triple H just like pins, like rolls over so both of Hardy's shoulders are on and 3 count. And then, but what baffles me, it looked fake because Triple H is dead off the swanton. Suddenly, for 3 seconds, recovers to do this hold, and then dies. And for the rest of the end of the match afterwards, which it's not realistic. You would like maybe a little pin, a little kick out, Hardy kick out. You can't just muster the strength to do that.
No. I've heard people say though that Hardy looked a lot better than you were anticipating him to look, because the idea was that Triple H was just going to
squash him,
and then, but it looked.
I think maybe if Triple H had his way, he would squash him. Maybe there's some outside influence said, listen, put a bit of a match on instead of just the usual crap you give us Triple H.
The ladder match.
Ladder match? I didn't see this one, so it's up to you for the ladder match.
Saw the end of it.
I mean, we saw Jericho
one point
last
apparently he was smashing the face of the ladder, and that's what they're kind of playing on. And Jericho refuses to get the tooth repaired because when he smiles in the mirror, he always remember how he beat Shawn Michaels. Ending was a bit weird. There was a quite cool bit at the ending where they both had, they were both on either side of the ladder. Lance Cade had come in to try and like stop Michaels from climbing up the ladder and had got super kicked basically. And they were both on the ladder. Jericho had hold of one end of the belt over the loop that holds it. Michaels had to go at the other end, and they were both just kind of basically stretching right the way back like that. So basically, whoever let go was going to lose, and that was quite smart. But eventually, he
did Michaels. I was going to say, did he not fell off the ladder for a bunch of tables? That's usually what happens in a ladder match.
No. He just got punched and then fell, and then
punched.
Jericho, kicked or something like that at the end, and then Jericho was still left at the top, and Jericho grabbed it and fell off the ladder with it in his hand, as you usually do. That kind of exhausted, kind of pile drive. Match of the year, apparently.
Well,
some people are saying.
I have got a copy of it, so I will watch it.
I'll have to sort of study it a bit more. I decide on that.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed a decent enough pay-per-view. Nothing amazing, but decent.
Decent.
Better than Unforgiven because I didn't really like the scramble matches. But
right.